Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brad with Despite Fitness, and I'm sitting here with John. I introduced him a little bit earlier, and he's one of the strength conditioning coaches here. And we're going to take just a few quick moments and talk about, well, a couple of points. One point initially. So the first point that we want to talk about is I had a question from a viewer talking about conditioning, right? So asked me for some general ideas about how to approach conditioning, and so my question was, for what? Because how you condition for, say, a swimming event is not how you would condition for, say, a running event. So with whatever you guys are doing, you have to understand that if you're talking about conditioning, you're going to be putting that under the kind of the umbrella of a specific event. So this viewer's specific kind of arena is strongman activities in general. So that's kind of what we're working with here. So the way that I envision it is, we kind of have an axis. We have volume and we have intensity, right? So if you develop your conditioning, you're able to sustain more intensity for a longer period of time, right?
Correct. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is when you're talking about the axis of doing intensity and volume would be to increase the intensity to mimic competition situations or real life situations, depending on what you're conditioning for. So if I'm conditioning specifically for strongman, I want to start mimicking the times that I'm going and the pace that I'm going to go, or the weights that I'm going to have to move. Maybe it could be all three of those factors a little bit combined. So gradually increasing the intensity, maybe with a lower amount of volume, and then over time, once I reach a satisfactory amount of intensity, trying to mirror the event, I'm going to try to increase the volume over time. So if you look at a lot of famous articles throughout, the bodybuilding strength history from T-Nation on, anywhere in between, Charles Staley talks about it, Charles Poliquin talks about it, Stan Efferding talks about it. It would just be making sure that we're increasing the density of the workout. So being able to do more work in the same or less amount of time. So that's really the model that you want to follow. Is we're going to try to up that intensity and really mimic what we need to do, and then increase the density or the volume of that over time, just so not only are we conditioning ourselves more, but our capacity is higher to handle more load over time, as well as enhance recovery.
Nice. So if we were going to say, use an example, just for this case, we're talking about, say, some yoke work.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what you're saying is we want to figure out whatever that competition weight is going to be in the comp. Say the yoke is going to be 800 pounds for, say, 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not exactly sure what a normal comp for a yoke would be, but I'm just making numbers up just to work with. So we would slowly want to develop ourselves to get up to be able to carry that 800 pounds.
Right.
And then carrying it for that distance, right, to develop to be able to carry it for the full 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly but surely we would try to be able to reduce the time that it took us to be able to carry that 800 pounds, that 100 feet, correct?
Correct. So if, say we took the example, if you're just starting out, maybe your sole focus on increasing that intensity is just being able to lift 800 pounds. Maybe we're just trying to condition ourselves for that. So that could involve a little bit more gym work, a little bit less specific work towards the competition. Obviously, as you near the competition, we want to get closer and closer to that event. So, some of our lower body days might include a little bit more yoke work than, say, squatting, because, we already have the base strength conditioning to be there. But say we get to that point, so we're going to increase volume and all that good stuff, increase the density of the workout so we can do more and more and more. So, we might start out super light to where we're doing 10 sets of 10 yards. And then maybe we do, 5 sets of 20 yards. And then, 3 sets of 40 yards to try to a little bit go past that. And then we're going to try to pull back. And as we near the competition, my last one might be 2 all-out 100-yard efforts with maximal rest between.
Right. So, and that's another concept that I've discussed previously, is kind of the importance of, as you near the competition, increasing specificity.
So you really need to increase specificity, and if your conditioning is on point with what you need to do, you're going to be able to handle the load that you are throwing yourself, or that whatever competition is throwing at you, and you're going to be able to recover from that if your programming is correct. So as we near the competition, not only do we need to increase the specificity, but volume is going to back way off. After we've worked all that time to increase it, we're going to pull that way back while intensity remains high.
Right. Give ourselves an opportunity to kind of get used to what competition conditions are going to be like.
Absolutely.
And then facilitate recovery as well.
Yeah, because from a recovery standpoint, intensity is not necessarily the killer, but volume is.
Right.
So, especially as you near competition, you just have to kind of mess with a few things and find kind of what works for you. Like when your last heavy day would be out from a competition,
right.
And that's a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah.
You're probably going to screw that up. That's why it's important to have like a few mock runs as well.
Right.
And just kind of figure it out.
Okay, cool. So, want to thank Ryan for the question. Hopefully this helps you, Ryan, and hopefully it helps any other viewers out there that, getting ready for competition, whether that be strongman, CrossFit, or powerlifting. The format stays the same in terms of, moving from more general purpose activities the further away you are from the competition, and getting more and more specific as you approach that competition, so that you're able to do that movement, whatever that thing is, to competition standard. You want to increase that specificity, and then like John said, being able to slowly over time ramp up your volume, as well as kind of slowly ratchet up that intensity, so that by the time that you're ready for that competition, you're able to do it to the sufficient intensity that the competition requires, for whatever the volume is that you are required to perform that at. So for powerlifting, the volume is pretty easy. It's only 1 rep. But for strongman, obviously, it's quite different. So
it is.
Cool. I want to thank John real fast for his time sitting down here and doing these videos. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, leave them in the chat box below. I'll be sure to respond. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video. If you guys, like I said, if you have any questions for John, leave those below too, and I'll be sure to be able to communicate with him and do some more future videos to answer some questions that maybe some more specific training type stuff. Very good, guys. Anyway, that's it. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for checking it out. Remember, no matter what it is you think you can't do, train despite. Either find an excuse or you find a way. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.